young folks. And so I'm setting that up to say that these people are feeling a bit frightened, a bit like, I actually don't want to stay in a city that is a police state. And so if I don't feel as though my freedom here is safe, I have to consider other options, and maybe I have to decide whether
all of a sudden he worried about crime in Washington.
I think there's
but he the one that started that insurrection in Washington.
They are reminiscent of what we see.
This guy right here, man.
And history, and that we are repeating.
If y'all still support this dude, something wrong with y'all, man.
See how this continues to play out, as I believe the National Guard just got here today, and they're bringing more troops throughout the rest of the week.
Rev, I've had a lot of people that I spoke to in the city describe this as basically federal stop and frisk. And, you know, you were in New York, you and the National Action Network fought against stop and frisk when that was sort of the regular way of policing in New York City. What's your perspective on what's happening in D.C. right now? Does it have any actual connection to policing, or is it just authoritarianism?
Authoritarianism.
Well, I think that if it does have something to do with policing, and I have my doubts, but it would be bringing stop and frisk to the district. But several things jump out at me. One is that he named other cities. He named, after Washington, he said Los Angeles, Oakland, Chicago, and New York, all of whom have black mayors.
No.
Like they are on those cities with high crime rates that have white mayors or white population. So it's the criminalizing of black people and the criminalizing of blacks in higher office. This is the same man that sat 3 hours, according to reports, and watched people assault, beat, and threaten cops and law enforcement on January 6th and did nothing. He didn't call the National Guard then.
No.
And when he got put back in office, he pardoned them.
Exactly. You pardon criminals. How the hell you worried about Washington? Man, get the fuck out of here.
I think that this is a
lying fucking white supremacist bastard.
And people are not talking about Epstein in my base anymore.
No, Epstein.
Black criminals.
No.
We want criminals off the street.
But we want that Epstein shit too. They trying anything to keep everybody off that Epstein. Nah, we ain't forget about that, man.
We don't apologize for criminals, but they're not after criminals. They're looking for a way around the Epstein and a way to go after these black men.
I want to play this soundbite for you, Alencia, from Jeannie Pirro yesterday, talking about D.C. and crime. Get your thoughts on the other side.
What about preventative? Do you or the president plan to do anything to address the root causes of crime?
Look at this plastic surgery.
Such as truancy?
Plastic surgery face. Look. She don't even know what to say.
My job is to try to heal the victims and prosecute the criminal. Everybody else
January 6th.
With rehabilitate
January 6th.
the individual.
January 6th.
I honestly am not concerned about why they commit
Epstein.
crimes. My concern is if they commit crimes.
January 6th. Epstein.
Alencia, clearly these folks are only going to be in the city for 30 days, at least for this particular extent. What does it say that Jeannie Pirro, who's speaking in part for the administration, even though she shouldn't be, is not interested in solving any issues that lead to crime? She really just wants to go in and punish. What does that say about what this administration is really doing?
Well, to piggyback off of what Reverend Sharpton just said, this is about criminalizing black and brown people, right? So when I think about where I've heard about some of these checkpoints that are already in the city, they are where black and brown people are. I'm actually seeing videos of people being arrested, and I believe they were detained by ICE. And so, they actually don't care about the root cause of crime, and they actually, I don't think Republicans want to solve crime. They want to continue to have these images that you're showing. They want to be able to act as though they are quote-unquote tough on crime, but continue to criminalize black people in cities that are led by black mayors. The one thing I want to zoom out and say too is this is giving us, well, I will say should give Democrats, because a lot of black people are saying the quiet part out loud, but Democrats should be calling out the racism that is here, the racism that is motivating this right here, as well as the racism that is motivating what's happening in Texas and all of the gerrymandering.
Right.
It is an attack on black
Nothing
leadership.
racism. That's all it is. Ain't no politics. That's racism, man.
Administration, but Fox News correspondents who don't even know anything about the law or community safety.
Rev, what should other cities, seeing what's happened in Los Angeles, seeing what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now?
Don't come to New York with that shit.
Having a conversation with,
I'm gonna throw bottles at any motherfucker I see in the uniform.
Or Chicago, or
You think January 6th was bad? Yeah, come on, New York.
What would you advise them to do to prepare or to sort of slow down this kind of takeover?
Ain't gonna be no slow down. Ain't nobody gonna take over nothing here.
I think I would immediately have my police chief come out with the data and say, we do not need you, we do not want you. And I would have my city attorney see if there's a legal way to protect the citizens of my city from being stereotyped. I would throw roadblocks now. I wouldn't wait for it to come. Because if we see this president Saturday come out of Alaska with no deal with Putin, he's going to look for another scapegoat, and he'll grab the first black mayor within his reach.
Alexi, I want to get to you really quick on this. Clearly, Trump isn't just happy with sort of his authoritarian rule. He wants to sort of dominate the culture. He's now going to be taking over the Kennedy Center Awards. I want to play some sound from him talking about the fact that he's never been honored. Get your thoughts on the other side.
Honored for what? You're a damn criminal, man.
1978, the Kennedy Center honors
old ass criminal. Go to jail.
I wanted one. I was never able to get one.
Because you don't deserve one.
That's true, actually. I would have taken it if they would have.
Ain't nobody giving you nothing, man. Get your fucking cracker white ass supremacist ass out of here, man.
I'll give myself an honor. Maybe I'm going to.
Somebody put a bullet in your head, man.
Okay.
You know, it was 30 years ago this month at another award ceremony where someone got on stage and said, you don't want someone who's trying to be all up on stage and all up on your videos.
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't be involved with this kind of situation. Trump clearly wants to be all up and involved in everything. What do you think the response should be of people who might get honored by the Kennedy Center after this point? Should they say no to the president? Do you think people should just take their money back? What do you think is the proper cultural response to this?
Fuck the Kennedy Center. As long as he got something to do with it, fuck him and the Kennedy Center. You don't give a fuck about that shit.
In the Kennedy Center, you had a lot of great leaders such as Shonda Rhimes and folks actually pull out. And what I think you'll see are actually those conservative, right-wing
we don't care.
Artists who actually support Donald Trump starting to be honored. And here's the thing, when people say that culture isn't important, if it wasn't so important, Donald Trump wouldn't be attacking the Kennedy Center and our cultural institutions. And quite frankly, I hate to say this, part of the reason we are still dealing with him is because he knows how to use culture. And so while we are frustrated with his little temper tantrums because the baby didn't get an award over the last several years, he's actually weaponizing one of our great institutions that is shaping how we see humanity. And so it will be interesting to see the counter response to artists who don't participate in the Kennedy Center over the next few years.
We'll start our own. Fuck him.
Reverend Al Sharpton, Alencia Johnson, thank you so much for starting us off tonight on The Beat. And be sure to catch Reverend Al every weekend on Politics Nation at 5 p.m. Eastern